Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to The Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
Sphere Exclusives. Looking for exclusive content from your favorite podcasts here at The Sphere? Head over to sphere.tv/Patreon and sign up today. True Digital Media Consulting. You're online right now and so are your customers, but marketing has to be a consistent journey. True Digital Media Consulting can help with your online ads, organic growth, and so much more. Contact us today at 832-934-4436 or visit our website at truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Lady Ari Natural Hair Care. Lady Ari Natural Hair Care has been a prime destination for catering to naturally kinky hair in Houston, Texas. Give the experts a call today at area code 832-265-3792 or book online at ladyari.com.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Society Now, where we endeavor to bring you riveting content that inspires, excites, and invokes great conversation amongst your peers, your colleagues, your contemporaries, your friends. We're hoping to get you that dialogue going, to have you have some conversation around the water cooler or even the gym locker room. My name is Kira Laws. You can follow me on Instagram at TheModernDayCindy. That's Cindy with the I, not a Y. And to my far right,
what's going on? It's your man, Kalen Laws, a.k.a. Senor Wapo. Go to Instagram, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, and follow me at Senor Wapo 713. That's SENORGUAPO 713. Holla at your boy. We have some phenomenal guests in the building. It is a part two. Part deux. Is that how you say
part
it?
deux.
But I don't know how to say it in Spanish.
It's French.
In French,
Deux.
I speak Spanish. Right?
Deux.
So we have a part two of a dynamic duo that came on an earlier episode of ours, and they are back.
And we have to talk about economic empowerment. I want
Let's
to talk
do it.
about all things that umbrella houses. So we have in the building, we have Ronnie Russell and July McShay.
There it is.
And they're going to bring us this information today. Tell us.
Hey.
Like I said, I know my calling. Politics is not it. It's not it. You know, I'll be the supporting role and I'll throw a little nuggets in there. It's Mr. R2, Texas Black Pages. Texas Black Pages is an economic stimulus package for the state of Texas. We pretty much monitor all 254 counties. I follow a lot of people's social media. I am social media certified, and we should use that.
Certification?
Yes, there is an actual certification.
Oh.
For real. There's a certification for
Let's talk about
social
that.
media. I definitely want to teach more people, because that, one, it allows you to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't have time, yes, you can still hire a social media manager, but if you do have time, you can learn more, and then you take that and start teaching workshops.
Oh.
Because I've got paid to go to Dallas to talk about social media.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm just teaching and talking the basics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can go anything from a Instagram 101, Instagram growth, social media management, social media ethics, all different types of classes that we in our community need to have, learn, and do, because it's more than just income, it's access.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this is deep, girl. This is deep.
I want to become social media certified.
Me too.
Because I feel like I'm already certified. I just don't have my paperwork.
Right. Get your paperwork, like my uncle said. Get your paperwork together.
Yeah.
July, what's up?
What's up?
Talk
I'm
to
an
the people.
entrepreneur, so I have multiple businesses and always thinking of new ones. And so when it comes to economic development, I say that goes hand in hand with being an advocate and being politically involved and knowledgeable, because the two, they hold hands. They're like Jack and Jill going up the hill.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what our community has lacked for a long
Oh,
time.
for sure.
And that's something that we must embrace, so we have to talk about it.
No,
So
for sure.
I'm excited about
You
it.
know, I'm excited because we have to, you know, arguably the strongest political currency that a person can have is their economic status. You know, and in our community, we lack economic infrastructure. We lack, and for a number of reasons, it's been taken from us. You know what I'm saying? Systemically, it's been held from us. But the information is out there. We just have to do our due diligence. We just have to be resolute in going after that information, getting the certifications, as Ronnie said, getting the information, whether it's via formalized school or not. Even though I'm an educator, I know that every tier of schooling isn't for everyone, but the information is still available. Being fearless on how to better yourself, your family individually, thus giving the information to your community and letting the seed exponentially grow is certainly important. But again, that economic thing, man, is it's tough because my radio show this morning Wanda, my co-host, she said, shout out to Wanda Adams, trustee Wanda Adams. She said something. And it's so true. Oftentimes in our communities, in black and brown communities, specifically black communities, we didn't even know we were poor growing up.
Yeah.
So if you don't know you're poor, or if you don't know you're economically disadvantaged, then you think this is the way the world is, and there's no reason to hope for better or try to achieve better, because if your best friend, all your friends, your coaches, you know what I'm saying, growing up, and you never leave the hood, you never leave the community, you never leave the block, you're not exposed. I got cousins in Atlanta that never been outside of 285. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, whoa. And so it's very, very interesting that we have to be resolute, those of us who have the information, and giving that information back and pulling people forward.
Right.
And I think that's really what's dope about Texas Black Pages, is that's what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So tell us more about what it is.
Texas Black Pages actually, like I tell people all the time, it's a tech company. Using technology to push the agenda for visibility, push the agenda for marketing, push the agenda for resource management. Because those who follow our Instagram page, we send resource links, which is totally different from, I would say, majority of Instagram accounts. Like right now, Amazon just told the city of New York, we're no longer moving to New York. Mm-hmm. We're going to build a stronger base here in Texas. So now we're hiring 800 more people. So having that resource link, and we're telling you, if you're in the state of Texas or you know someone in the state of Texas, comment DM, and we push those links in order for you to get hired. So we do a lot of resource links because that's what lack in our community is information and resources. Mm-hmm. When we require information, we have to know that we have to go get it. Right. We can't wait for the information to come to us, but we have to seek that information in order for our economics to change. Like we were speaking this past day, economics is the gain of political power.
Yeah.
Economics is the shareholder for those who want a influence or those who want to gain access to certain things, because with economics we can put money behind a particular candidate that we want to push our agenda.
Absolutely.
That's just like when they're saying, what do you have a black agenda? That is a real question. That is telling us if you have a black agenda and it sounds like it's going to assist us with what we want to do and going forward, we can put some money behind you. That's the real question.
Right.
That's the real back office to the upfront question. Mm-hmm. Do you have a black agenda? If so, let's go ahead and put some money behind you, because if this person win, we're going to hold you accountable for the things that you're saying. And through economics, that's how we're going to begin to change what we do, because if not, the conclusion will never be the same.
I mean, you're 100% correct. When you look at how this country is ran, right, this country's ran is a business. Mm-hmm. It's, when I was teaching American government, that was a theme of my course. If you left out of my course, what you were going to get all the historical content. You were going to learn the Constitution. We were going to talk about the Bill of Rights. We were going to understand the footing, everything that how the government was set up. But the theme of my course was always built around politics is big business. In fact, it's so much big business that it's the largest employer in the world with over 2.1 million employees. Can you imagine just the payroll alone, right? You know what I'm saying? Like from part-time to full-time. So I use that anecdotally to talk about, I mean, even the bloodiest war in the history of this country was fought over what? Economics.
Yeah.
Slavery.
Yeah.
Was fought over how we make our money in one part of the country. And so when we start talking about how important economics is, it is critical to our community, but it is critical to our country, right? Politics is oftentimes seen through the reason why we have these political processes is for economic power, for money to go to this bureau, for money to go to this bureau, money to go to these people. So and then it lines somebody's pocket short. You know what I'm saying as well. But it's about how we use that money to wield a certain force. And I'm so glad you brought that up about what our candidates, man, because we have to be in a position to be able to fund them. We have to be able to position to be able to not necessarily sway them, but to make sure that they know that, like you said, they're held accountable to us as with our agenda. Right. So when we talk, how did Texas, excuse me, how did you guys start? Like what was the genesis of it?
The genesis was problem solving. If you start a business and your business do not solve a problem, then you're not going to be there for a very long time.
Facts.
Because you're going to run circles trying to find things. So with that process, we were solving problems of visibility. We were solving problems of access, because it's just the same thing when Time Warner changed its name to Spectrum. Mm-hmm. You can't be everywhere as Time Warner,
right,
but you can be everywhere as Spectrum. In the military, there's an operation called full spectrum operations. That means at all costs, the operation must cross linear on the battlefield. And all I did with that was I took that operation and transitioned that into civilian aspect and just call it full spectrum visibility.
Nice.
Being visible at all costs, whether it's on a digital platform, a tangible or print or mobile, because technology is never going to slow down. But you have to understand the pace of technology is through economics. Because if I can't fund a startup, then the economics of that business is not going to solve this particular problem. Mm-hmm. Just like when we were talking about Amazon and Whole Foods and all that other stuff, that is the transition that people are going. And like you said, Walmart had to try to find a problem solver to compete with Amazon, so they have to go out and seek that.
Right.
It's all full spectrum.
Listen, this is some dope content. I hope you got your notes out and getting this exclusive information, because this portion of the show is also sponsored by the Sphere Exclusive team. Are you looking for exclusive content that you cannot find anywhere else? Well, look no further than our Sphere Exclusives, found only on Patreon. We've got behind the scenes shots, footage happening daily at the Sphere Podcast Studios. Each show on the podcast network curates episodes that are only delivered to Patreon subscribers. Plus, we deliver the show live from start to finish in our Discord server that's exclusive to our Patreon family. Sign up today at www.thesphere.tv/Patreon. To join our $2, $5, or $8 Patreon tier and get access to all the exclusive content we offer at the Sphere. Get your card out and connect with us. So we're talking with Professor McShay. We're talking with Ronnie R2, Ronnie Russell, regarding this here economics. So talk to us about your spiel with economics.
Okay, so I got to add politics to it, right?
Of course.
So I'm going to start with a quote. So one of my favorite presidents, and I have a handful. One of my favorite is the Texan, Lyndon B. Johnson. Mm-hmm. And there's a quote of his, and I had to fact check it to make sure it was real. And I've done that before, and I just had your wife pull it up for me so I don't misquote it. And LBJ is famously remembered for saying, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. And we're seeing that. Mm-hmm. We're seeing that day by day.
Powerful, right?
Day by day. And that's a politician
Mm-hmm.
who was one of the most powerful senators when he was in the Senate, by the way. That's what you need to read. Like, I love LBJ, right? From just, that's a good person to study if you're a leader, or if you aspire to be a leader. He's a great person to study. Nonetheless, but in knowing that, he said that as a politician, but he ties in the economics to it, right? So as long as I can make you feel better than somebody,
You won't even notice me
you'll,
robbing
you'll,
you.
you'll give me everything, because just in the comfort of I'm better than somebody, you know. So if we know that that's how things have been working, and he said this, what, in the 60s,
Yeah.
50s, you know,
Yeah.
how long ago did he say it, right? That's still holding true today. So as we build businesses, we have to start looking at legacy. What are we leaving behind? What are we giving to the next generation, right? So that's our policies that we're creating politically, and the businesses that we're leaving for our children and our children's children. And they go hand in hand. And we have to be so intentional. What's the guy named Travis Green?
Yes, intentional.
Be intentional. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? In every way. You know, be intentional with your praise, with your practices, with your politics, and your pockets. You know, we have to be intentional. And the two go hand in hand.
Right.
I work with politicians all the time. The biggest thing is money. You know, and to convince someone to give somebody money to run for office, that's a hard conception for a lot of people. Like, why would I give you money? Well, because I need commercials. I need flyers. I need pretty signs.
Right.
You know, that's why you see certain people on TV. Like, you have to just break it down. This is why we have to pour in. And we also have to just be stronger with our intentions on buying black. You know, I take a lot of pride in black business. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday we had a business meeting. I was late. I'm sorry.
That's
Traffic.
hell.
I was. But I told you 12:50 and I was about 30 minutes late from that. Okay. But we met at one of my favorite restaurants, black owned restaurant. He didn't know. You know, and that's the thing. You don't have to say this is a black owned business. That I don't think that's necessary. Just be the best business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was highly impressed with the business, and the food was damn good. Shout out to Gatlin's Barbecue.
Shout out
on
to
Ella.
Gatlin's.
3510 Ella Boulevard.
Listen, on that note,
Better know it.
And shout out to our Facebook Live family, and thank you for tuning in. But you got to subscribe to get the rest of the show. So subscribe to our show on all the major platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and anywhere else you get your podcast content. You can review our show across all those platforms to help us build better content for you and share the entire show with your family and friends right from the Sphere Podcast Network page. And last but not least, you can support, again, I say support, our mission to bring enriched and inspiring content each and every week. You can do a one-time donation at www.thesphere.tv/donate, or you can holler at us on the Patreon site at www.thesphere.tv/Patreon, and you can support you via the $2, $5, or $8 level. We'll see you soon. So, talking economics, Dr. Kira.
What's up?
Dr. Kira,
What's
what's your stance on economics in our for us black folk?
Well, you know, I like July. I actually seek out businesses to give my money to. I really do. And one of the things I have an ongoing conversation with, it's not that we can't sell product. It's not that we even don't have goods or services to provide. I think we need to do more on how we provide the service. Because when I go spend my money somewhere, I want to feel like you respect my dollar. I'm not asking you to beg for my dollar. I just want you to treat it a certain way. And I think a lot of times we as business owners, entrepreneurs, you know, or business owners, we don't necessarily see the patronage coming from persons that look like us, because we don't necessarily know what we're looking for in terms of the experience. We want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily, I've had some experiences where I will seek out people and the conversation is not well.
Right.
It's almost too familiar. It's almost like you come with you're bringing a lot to me. You're bringing a lot, and I have to kind of cut through all of that just to give you. I really have to push my money on you. Like you're giving me too much right now. I just really want to come in here and get blank, blank, and blank. That's all I really want. I'm not looking for the extra, because when I go to the other place, they don't give me that extra, and and it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough for me to realize that there is we need to educate one another about the importance of supporting Black-owned businesses, but we need to also educate Black-owned businesses about, you know, how to give people what they're looking for outside of whatever you're offering, whether it's a good or a service. And I really, again, I think we are actually doing really well in terms of being more vocal about advocating, really sewing into those who look like us. I think we're doing a good job at that, following through with it. We need to be more consistent with it, but also I think we business owners shade Black people, Black dollars. I see it on Instagram all the time. Like if you telling me I can text you to ask you about a service, you can't get all caught up on how I text you. You know what I mean? Like when you text me on the memes, don't text me and don't tell me your name. I'm like, all that. We just want to know how much does this service cost. You know what I mean? So I think it's an experience, but I mean, I feel like funneling the money back into our own community does help. Now, what we put our money toward, different from politicians, what we put our money toward is not necessarily for advertising and more commercials. A lot of times it's to fund whatever personal things you got going on because you're a business owner, and we get that because you have to live. So it's a balance. I think it's just a balance. But I do believe in Black dollars going from Black hand to Black hand. I do believe in that.
Right. I think what happens, kind of like what we were discussing prior to the show, the expectations. Like if I go to a Texas de la Brazil, whatever that restaurant is called, if I'm spending a $400 tab, I'm not going to say anything. But like you were saying with the restaurant that someone was talking about, they spent $400 at this particular restaurant. Now there's a problem.
Right.
Something is wrong with that, because that person has the same or similar expenses as the other restaurant that you went to that wasn't Black owned. But you feel their prices should be different, but they still probably go to the same meat market and go buy the same thing. So to me, our expectations, we need to be very cognitive about our expectations. Is it realistic or is it unrealistic about going? Not everybody, I'm not, now me, if you have a meeting with me, it is going to be at a Black-owned establishment on purpose.
On purpose.
Don't say, oh, meet me at Starbucks. I'm going to say, here's a link to a Black-owned coffee shop. Meet me here at this particular time. We all have to have that.
Yeah.
When it comes to our intentions and being deliberate in that, because oftentimes the person that you're meeting with didn't know that was Black-owned. Like the one I went to yesterday, I didn't know it was Black-owned, but I knew I had to ask that question because that is my purpose. But then again, like I was saying before, it's a history thing when it comes with, we have been torn down for so long and we beat ourselves up for so long, but when do we begin the rebuilding process?
Oh, I was going to jump in, but I was going to wait for you to finish, but I want to jump in just real quickly, but I'll go.
No, but for real, if I beat you up for months after months after months after months, and now someone else now come to you, you may have the same expectations. Oh, when I see them, they're going to do this. No, we have to begin to change our expectations. I expect good service, period. But I need to come in there in good spirits. I may have had a bad day at work. I shouldn't bring that to the counter. Then the person that is at the counter should not be expecting anything different, because I should come to you in good spirits, you should come to me in good spirits, and let's leave that at the table.
No, I agree with that. I think we're coming into an age where, like I said, social media has opened doors for so many people to be entrepreneurs, right? And so, but we know, I give people credit, or I give the benefit of doubt, like, you're still building your business. I understand it. So maybe your website is not up, and maybe the only way you can communicate is via text message and things like that. With that informal type of communication, you have to adapt to what what you're asking people to do for you. You see what I'm saying? So if your only way you can communicate with someone is via text message, you can't come with a long list of demands of how they text you. You know, I'm like, you have to, you know, and create all these silly little memes about it,
Unless
or
you put it out it.
unless it, you know, it put it in the air, or when my sister was getting married and I sought out, I was like, there has to be a black establishment in Houston that, you know, she can have her wedding at, and we found this beautiful establishment near us. And I was talking to the young lady, the waitress came from, excuse me, the bartender came from behind the bar, started talking to me. I was told her why I was there. I said, well, I heard that you all rent the venue to for weddings, and she was like, yeah, let me show you, and blah blah blah. And I said, well, I would love to talk to a manager to see what your price list is, and how do you know, what is it, room rental free? The whole time the lady was there, the whole time, never said anything, stood right there, never said anything.
That she's the owner.
The freaking owner, right?
Wow.
And then so when I started talking to her, I said, okay, my sister was with me, and I said, okay, well, we wanted to know what's the room rental fee? Do y'all have menus? I know that you do rent the establishment for things. And her response was, who's paying for it? I said, I'm sorry. And I had to look, and I said, come again, because I was floored. She's like, no, who's paying for it? I said, well, we're paying for it. Now I was like, in my mind, I told my husband, I said, pardon the dress, but you know, we trying to spend money here. It doesn't matter who's paying for it. I'm asking you, what is the room rental fee and what's the menus? And so she took down by hand my information, said she was going to get back to me, and never did.
Oh, wow.
She messed up when she asked who's paying for it, because in my mind I was trying to figure out why would that be the question that you ask.
Yeah.
But when you didn't respond back, it just made me feel some type of way. But I've had experiences like that with, it's almost like we are very loose-lipped with our own people, but we would not address anyone else like that. We're going to get back to that. But this portion of our show is sponsored by True Digital. You're online right now, and so are your customers. The question is, how do you actively reach them? Marketing has to be a consistent journey, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. True Digital Media Consulting can help with website development, online ads, your business reputation, and organic growth on search engines. Give us a call today to discuss a customized strategy for your business at 832-934-4436, or send an email to info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com. Mention the Sphere to receive a 30-minute strategy consultation. Again, the email address is info@truedigitalmediaconsulting.com.
You know, regarding black-owned businesses and how we treat our customers, specifically our black customers, I think from a customer standpoint, I mean, it's so dynamic. It's a dynamic issue. From a customer standpoint, we have to stop, and this is going back to the restaurant analogy you gave, Rodney. We have to stop looking for a handout or a hookup just because we black.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the most irritating thing to me. That's the most like when people try to negotiate my prices just because you know me or just because we black. Nah, bro, this is business. Do you go to Saks to negotiate the prices at Saks? No, you pay them at Macy's. You pay the money. You know what I'm saying? And so I think.
But you feel like that credit card.
Well, yeah, we fill out that credit card, it becomes slaves to
and
that
don't
FICO score,
negotiate.
right? And don't negotiate. So I think, you know, we have to do a better job even at that, in understanding that stuff costs money. And just because I know you, or just because we got the same skin, or we share a DNA pool that's similar, doesn't mean that I owe you anything.
Well,
Right.
and from a business perspective, because I'm thinking about this, I understand that a lot of entrepreneurs aren't necessarily degreed in what they have, what they're selling, or what, you know what I mean. I
The service they're
understand that
providing,
the
right,
service
yeah.
they're providing. A lot of them haven't gone to school for business, or they haven't gone. So I get that from the perspective, like, you might
But
be
I don't
really
even think
good.
I don't even think it's that.
No, but I'm just thinking, like, across the board, you get the benefit of the doubt from me.
Right.
Because I'm giving you, I'm like, I know where I'm, but I understand that you might not. You just might be good as heck at what you do or what you're providing. You might have found something that works, and I get that. You know what I mean? But what were you gonna say?
I think it's this. Our expectations for us, we're just more critical on ourselves, period. We are more critical. So the issue is, and at Turkey Leg Hut, somebody went and their ticket was $397 and some
Right.
change, right? There was a 18%, which shocked me because I would have done a 20% gratuity for a party of 7. Now, I asked the question, well, how long were they there? And the reason why I asked that question is because there was a service charge in addition to the gratuity. So both were 48 and some change, right? So let's say $100 in gratuity and service fees on top of their tab. If you sat there all day without eating, like, because we do that, right? We kicking it. We ain't ordering nothing else. We just holding up a table. They could have been servicing somebody else.
Absolutely.
But I'm a business owner, so I can perceive that and think about that. My problem is this. We weaponize social media. We use social media to weaponize information against one another. That same person who took that energy to post that about the turkey leg cut could have called them during the week during one of their lesser, busier times a day and said, hey, we were there on Saturday. I knew you were busy. I'm concerned about this service fee. Could you explain it to me? Or even ask when you got the check. And maybe they did. Could you explain the service fee? We weren't aware of it. And maybe that's something that the turkey leg cut wasn't aware of, that maybe they need to post. Because I, as someone with a legal background, I would say that's something you need to put out there. Right? Because $50 is $50. That's a tank of gas. Right? In Houston.
Facts.
You fill up twice a week. I just feel like both were wrong because I feel like there should be some explanation for it. But if I'm there 7 people, why are we tripping over it? $50. I mean, how much is that divided up between us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
$8 a person, less than $8 a person.
Right. So why we tripping? And our bill is already at $300 before any of this is added. So why are we tripping about a few more dollars?
Right.
That's my first issue. But would they have been as critical had that happened at Steak 48? And I don't think they would be, because I know you get bad service at all these restaurants, because I've had bad service at Steak 48, but I've had great experiences at Steak 48. But I didn't put the thing all over social media. I don't see that happening with non-black businesses, and that does not mean that people have problems at don't have problems at non-black businesses. So I think we need to keep the same energy across the board. But I also think that we have to be responsible, both as business owners and patrons of these businesses, because I just think that people look for something to raise hell about, and I think people go to black businesses and we hold them at a higher degree, like they got to do better or I'm not coming. You got to be better than the rest, so I'm not coming. Your butter got to be better than my Jergens. Well, it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you ordered from me and it spilled because it melted. Email me. DM me. Right. Text me during text hours. You know what I'm saying? Right. Contact me. But don't put me all over the internet like I'm just sending you some shit. Because I take pride. My number one product that I sell is service. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think we just have to be more responsible, both as business owners and as patrons, in how we engage one another.
Absolutely. And thinking about being a business owner, let's talk about Lady Irie Natural Hair Care. Hey, listen, she don't even do weave like that for sure. She does all natural hair, kinks and curls. This portion of our show is sponsored by Lady Irie Natural Hair Care. Have a kinky, curly style in mind? Lady Irie Natural Hair Care has been a prime destination for catering to naturally kinky hair in Houston, Texas, and beyond for over 5 years. Clients come from all over the world to receive the ultimate experience for their natural hair care needs. Lady Irie Natural Hair Care has been featured on media outlets including Young Black Professionals Magazine, GMT Internet Radio, The Sphere, and more. Your unique vision can be brought to life complete with helpful tips for maintaining your hair. You'll walk into the salon with the warmest of greetings, complimentary refreshments, and knowledgeable staff that promote total beauty from the inside out. Our goal is to unveil your kinks one curl at a time. Give the experts a call today at 832-265-3792 or book online at www.ladyirie.com. Again, that's www.ladyirie.com.
I got something else to say.
Oh my gosh.
So Gucci. Remember the Gucci ordeal?
Blackface.
So we had a conversation yesterday. One of my girls, she'll probably see this video later. But we were talking about that whole thing, and she's like, I'm still buy what I want to. And I'm like, that's fine. But I'm over it. Like, I'm not going to burn the Gucci that I own.
Right. Now, who does that?
First of all, because Gucci is not a good product, first of all, because it's cloth and it wears. And I believe in using stuff. I don't treat material things as idols, and I just pull them out like I wear my J's like they some bobos, like they some kick arounds, right. You know, because this stuff gonna fade away. Exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But Gucci had the advertisement with the blackface or what have you, and we were discussing, and I was like, they didn't even consult Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you gonna roll this out, you're not gonna holler at him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only like high end store in Harlem. You know, like why wouldn't you consult him? But people want to buy what's hot and trendy. Make our own stuff trendy. So I did a thing where my best friend and her cousin, they have a handbag company. I posted on my social media, Gucci, F that. We've been off that.
Right.
You know, we have other things that we can support. These are handmade by black people, right? It's made in Africa. It's owned by 2 African American cousins here in the States. So not only are we employing people across the water, we're bringing you a high-end product, high quality, you know, handmade, beautiful pieces out of Chic. Holla at them on social media, by the way. But why can't we want that? Because Gucci will give you a bag with a piece of snake skin, and that's it. You know, and it'll cost $5,000. You know what I'm saying? But we need to have that same energy, because they couldn't sell a bag for $5,000 and make, you know, hundreds of them, because we're not going to spend that kind of money, because they're not Gucci.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Gucci put a piece of bamboo, because I used to buy their bamboo stuff back in the day. They put a piece of bamboo and 2 brass pieces on it, brass, and we buying it.
I think it has to do with, and it's kind of like our final thought, I think it has to do with how we devalue the worth of black owned business or black products by saying it is putting like you said, putting the label on it. Do we have to say it's black owned? Do we have to? I mean, what value does that bring us as a community? I mean, within our own, I get saying it, but it's almost seemed like the value of it immediately drops.
Yeah.
You know, immediately drops, as if we don't support it enough. We'll support Circular Cup because we see that a Kevin Hart went there and he's on Instagram, and so we want to be where all the hot stuff is, and that's probably the biggest issue. We want to follow, you know, what's hot, and if we don't have a name attached to whatever we're pushing, it no longer has value to us in our community. And we talked about that, and it's been said, you know, even back in what was it, 20s or 40s or whatever it was, when they said if you want to get the black person's dollar, you know, they buy brands, so attach a brand name to it, you're going to get their money. We have to start valuing ourselves like we're on that same brand level. And I think sometimes the value of the actual product or service it gets lowered because we emphasize the blackness of it. We emphasize the blackness of it.
People tell me I can buy $15. You know how much shea butter I can buy for $15? No, I don't.
I don't.
Because you couldn't buy this shea butter for less than $15.
Right.
And then you think about how natural products in general they've seen the value of it. So now all of a sudden
we're a drop of shea in some jerky.
It's $20 now. When back in the day you could find that for less than nothing. But now all of a sudden we have major companies getting behind natural products because they know our money is behind it.
Yeah.
And it's the psychology of the thing, right? And we have to do better with.
We
I
push
guess
this economy.
we push it.
I was gonna say my final thought. What was that? We're the largest spenders in the country. Period.
Why?
Period.
How can we be the largest and we don't have the wealth?
Exactly.
So I got
Because we
don't
got
have
the numbers.
Yeah,
I got a question.
Final thoughts.
I really want everyone's take on this. So, who in our culture is the largest spenders?
You mean amongst black people?
Yeah.
Probably black women.
Okay. So, who do you think really has the initial power that can change some of this economic shit?
Absolutely black women.
women.
Okay. So
you saying we vote for Kamala Harris?
no, I'm not saying
I
that.
was just
No,
I'm just
no, for real. So do you feel if we want to change our economic power, it should start with that agenda?
Absolutely. I totally believe that. I think that but it also it starts with that agenda and also the mind of how we view things. There's a lot of, and this is the part 3 because we're going to talk about this another time, y'all, but a lot of the issues with African American people, African American women, especially in our group, we put our identity in things. We have identified what we feel like, you know, we are with things. Okay, I want that Gucci bag, and I want that because that I feel like I've earned that because I done worked hard, I busted my behind, and all this stuff and whatever. But you can still have that same effect by not buying Gucci. You know what I mean? By not buying Louis, by not. But we have. It's almost like it's like when everybody had Tory Burch flip, everybody, and it was like
Didn't do it.
No, you didn't, but I
Didn't
did.
do it.
But because in my environment, it was almost like it was a
Rites of passage.
rites of passage. You didn't excel, baby. You didn't bought these little
Cheap
fly.
ass shoes.
But ideally, it's another conversation. But you're right. We control the dollars in a lot of our households because we are not just the earners, but also we just control how the money is spent. So we definitely need to have a part. Deuce, Trey, whatever, to this conversation.
Come back to Houston.
Whenever he's coming back to Houston, it has been an amazing show. We
It has.
love R2
Yeah.
and July McShay, Prof McShay in the building. You can follow me on Instagram at the Modern Day Cindy. That's Cindy with the I, not a Y.
Holla at me on Instagram at SeniorWapo713 on all social media outlets as well. SENORGUAPO713.
Oh my gosh.
Holla at your boy. This has been Society Now. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.